morning shouldn't be too bad.
It's this afternoon I need to worry about.
I understand.
That syrup's even worse than yours.
So, who's the big today then?
His Honour, Judge Phelps Gore.
How far? Thought we would have picked it by now. Oh, let's hope you don't keep us waiting, eh?
We understand, you know, about yesterday.
Do ya?
Yeah, we all do. Yesterday was tough. But you know you're innocent, right? Maureen, how can you even think that?
Well, it's not just Trevor, it's all them others.
Yeah, but them doctors don't know him, or the police. But Phil and Pauline...
Would all parties in the matter of Maureen Morgan please go to Court 6? All parties in the matter of Maureen Morgan to Court 6.
Thanks for the lift. I'll be right now, honest.
Yeah, well, I don't mind sticking around. Unless you think that Gary might.
No.
Thank you, Miss Sumner.
Just be quiet. I think they've started.
So you found Mr. Morgan in Daisy Lane?
That's right. I thought he was drunk at first, but I noticed his head was a funny shape, all sort of dented in like, you know. And then I saw the blood. I'm not a squeamish person, but he must have been in agony, dragging himself along.
Do you think she'll be all right?
Do you think I could have a glass of water?
Oh, yes, of course. Take your time. Usher, could you replace the glass, please?
Okay.
All right, done this much.
I screamed for help, but it seemed like ages till someone came
I'm sorry.
along.
If we could just pause. I thought I barred that woman.
What?
You did, Your Honour. I'm really sorry about that. It won't happen again.
This is a courtroom, not the last chance saloon. Remove yourself immediately.
But, Your Honour, I've just said it's not going to happen again.
Do as he says, will ya?
Security.
No, it's all right. I'll go.
Thank you, Miss Sumner.
Nervous?
Why should I be? Can't wait to get in there and put them straight on a thing or two.
You'll be lucky. What's in the title, isn't it? Prosecution barrister.
Give me some credit. I might not be as used to all this as you are.
Oh, really? I would have thought you'd been on first name terms with this lot. I mean, how many times you were after here, eh?
Mr. Mitchell.
Well, let's hope you get a better result this time, eh? I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
He wouldn't know the truth if it bit him in the arse.
Mr. Mitchell, would you tell us how you know the defendant?
I'm a publican. She cleans for me. She's a good worker, you know, reliable.
And you left your daughter with her on New Year's Eve?
Well, it wasn't exactly down to me, but, yeah, I trusted her. Big mistake, as it turns out. Well, I was in the pub, it was gone midnight, and I was looking for my godson, Jamie.
And that took you to Albert Square?
Yeah. I thought he'd gone to a local nightclub. But then I heard this screaming.
Coming from?
Number 45. Upstairs. There was no lights on, but, well, I knew it was Louise. That's my daughter.
So what did you do?
What do you think I did? Knocked on the door. The back door first, that leads into the kitchen. That's, well, it was locked.
Are you aware that that was unusual?
Yeah. So I went round to the front. She took a while to answer.
Was anything said?
Not really, no. She was, bit odd. Jumpy. Didn't want to let me in.
But did you go in?
That was my kid in there, crying her eyes out. And, she had blood on her hands.
Blood?
Yeah. She said she'd cut herself. Well, I wasn't going to hang around to discuss it. I went straight up to the bedroom.
Did you go into the kitchen at any stage?
No. No, the door was closed. And I wasn't looking around. I just got my daughter and left.
Did Mrs. Morgan tell you that anything was wrong?
Nope.
Did she say that her husband had been round? That there'd been some sort of an argument or a fight?
No, the first I knew about it was when the police came round a couple of weeks later. I thought it was an accident, but no, she was really calm. I'd have expected her to have been hysterical. You know, beside herself.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. No further questions.
How long has Mrs. Morgan worked for you? 18 months?
Like that.
So you know her well? And you were surprised when you heard the charge against her?
Well, like I say.
Well, she wasn't usually a violent person.
She wouldn't say boot to a goose half the time. But who knows what goes on behind closed doors, eh?
Would it be correct to say that it was Mrs. Morgan's demeanour on that night that led you to question whether her husband's injuries had been caused accidentally?
Pretty much.
And would it also be correct to say that you were angry?
Have you got kids?
But Mrs. Morgan didn't know that Louise was your daughter, did she?
What?
Well, that didn't become common knowledge until that night. In the pub. Your pub. Across the road from number 45 Albert Square.
Yeah, I suppose.
You turned up on the doorstep, understandably agitated, demanding to see a child which, as far as Mrs. Morgan was concerned, had nothing to do with you.
I'd still have expected her to say something. She stoved his head in.
Did you give her a chance?
What?
You said yourself you didn't hang about to discuss things. Is it really
If
any
it was an
wonder?
accident, do you think I'd have really been able to shut her up?
So you left Mrs. Morgan to babysit at approximately 8 o'clock?
That's right. I went over to the Queen Vic with my family.
The what?
Oh, sorry, Your Honour. The Queen Victoria. It's a public house across the road from my house.
Please be clear, Mrs. Fowler.
I can see she's going to be a great help.
And what time did you leave?
About midnight. I wasn't drunk or anything.
It's not you that's on trial, Mrs. Fowler. Did you notice anything when you returned home?
How do you mean?
Did you go into the kitchen?
Yeah, it was all clean and tidy.
Did it look as if it had been cleaned?
Oh, yes, but well, she's like that little Mo. Sorry, Mrs. Morgan. She's lovely. Not like him.
Mrs. Fowler, that's enough.
Well, you told me to be clear. He used her as a punch bag, kept her from her family.
That is hearsay. Please disregard those remarks.
Yes, but...
Unless you can substantiate these allegations.
Well, I never actually saw him hit her, if that's what you mean. Well, everyone knew. And when her dad told me, I was just so upset to think what had gone on in my kitchen.
This conversation took place after the attack, after Mrs. Morgan's arrest. And your attitude went from one of anger toward the defendant to sympathy. Your Honor, I think it's quite clear this witness has been primed. I have no further questions.
You may leave, Mrs. Fowler.
Holly? Where'd you get on?
Well, let's just say Maureen's got her work cut out.
She's up next.
Keep your voice up. Talk to the jury. Make sure they can hear every word you say. You have to make it clear exactly what he put you through. Okay?
If
If he's going to the canteen...
He wouldn't dare say anything.
Yeah, he don't have to.
Oh, you're right, sweetheart.
Wasn't so bad, was it? You'll sound straight.
Show him up as the scum he is.
Crucify him. This is your chance to hit back.
You go in there and tell him about every beating you've had, blow by blow.
And the rest. You can't win back now, Mo. He brought you here, didn't he? He asked for it. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Sorry, mate, I was in a bit of an hurry. Boy, you mind where you put that thing, eh?
Don't worry, she'll do right.
Where's Lynn?
She's got the hump. I told her a few untruths.
Probably in the back of Loverboy's cantina, thrashing around.
Doubt it. Looks like she's walking home tonight.
She won't be worried about him then.
You're not having a very good day, are you?
It's my own fault. I've been horrible to Gary. I've been ever since I got back.
You want to tell me about it? Come on, we should talk about anything.
We've both moved on since then.
Yeah, we're still mates though, aren't we? Unless he started dictating who you can and can't talk to.
I promised to respect him, Beppe. Those vows, they count for a lot in my family. Whatever I really feel.
Gary! Where you going?
Do something I should have done a long time ago.
That was stupid!
Do you know what the trouble is with my marriage? The trouble with my marriage is that there have been 3 people involved in it from the word go.
You're overreacting. Anyway, now ain't the time or the place. We're decent people, remember?
Yeah.
Besides, he'd only lamp you anyway. Come on, let's get back to the canteen. Billy, can you find Lynn and tell her afternoon tea ain't on the menu?
Now's your chance to let him know exactly how you feel about him. All right? Good luck, sweetheart.
Don't worry about me, Dad. I'll be fine.
The defense calls Maureen Morgan.
I swear, by Almighty God, that the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but no, I'm sorry, God. I can't.
Mrs. Morgan, I think you might benefit from an adjournment. I think we'll have an early day. If you could all be back at the same time tomorrow morning.
All right.
Maureen, are you sure about this? If there is any doubt in your mind, you know what this means? I've made you fully aware of the consequences. Maybe you should talk to your family.
No, I can't. Would you?
I can't just leave her. She probably thinks we're going to have a go.
She'll come out when she's ready. I know you're worried.
A moment, please, Mr. Slater.
But I want to...
Please. Maureen's come to a decision. She wants me to tell you. I'm afraid it's not good news. She's going to change her plea to guilty